He thinks there is hype here. And he's got a great reason why he doesn't believe there's going to be chaos, although it does kind of point to a bigger problem that we have. And we have David Stout, okay, county commissioner in El Paso, Texas. His county is gearing up, and you can tell that because you can see he's out there on the road. Thank you to both of you. First of all, let's talk about the preparations that you're doing. You're down there in your car. Don't get a ticket on my watch. I don't want to deal with that.
No,
but
no.
What are you worried about?
I'm worried about a lot of things, of course, but I think the main thing is just making sure that we have the resources available from the federal government to make sure that we can take care of the folks that are going to be coming into our community.
What are they telling you to expect when Title 42 is no more?
Well, we've heard different accounts of the number of folks that are waiting on this, on the Mexican side of the border. It's hard to know how many folks are going to be coming across. We've been gearing up. We've got anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 bed spaces available for sheltering. We're able to process up to 1,200 people on a daily basis. We also have plans to decompress. We can send charter buses to other communities within Texas, up to 600 a day, hopefully. We're hoping that it's not going to be as bad as some people are saying it might be.
So if it is that bad, what does your planning tell you it looks like in your community?
Well, we've like I said, we've heard different accounts. We've heard from the Border Patrol that the larger group of people has already come. That 80% of the people that are being processed or that are being dealt with right now are subject to Title VIII, so they'll be expelled immediately as it is. And so the folks that will be coming through after Title 42 is lifted is about 20 to 25% of the folks that are being encountered or that are being dealt with. And so if that's the case, we're hoping it's not going to be as bad as some people are saying.
So, Chris, let's discuss this. First, let's talk about pre-Title 42, what it was like, and what you think the real problem is when Title 42 is lifted. What does it expose? So what was it like before, and what does Title 42 expose when it expires?
Well, good evening. Thanks for having me, and best of luck to the commissioner down there because he's right there on the front lines. El Paso's seen just huge spikes the last few weeks and months, so they've been doing a lot of preparation over the last several months, and actually this last several years since the pandemic started. I will say that prior to Title 42, we still had an uptick in numbers. I was actually in El Paso, Texas, as the deputy chief when the first kind of surge happened, and then we got hit with the pandemic and lockdown, and Title 42 was implemented. What is important to know about the Title 42 was that it was a rapid expulsion. Prior to that, it was under Title 8, our authority to be able to process and remove people through immigration proceedings. So that never went away because we use that in our administrative removal process. So with people coming in, they're in place to removal proceedings. That Title 8 has always been there, but because of the expulsion and the efficiency to be able to remove people back real quick, going from 15 minutes and under expulsion or possibly up to 2 hours per person under Title 8. When you're dealing with large numbers that we're seeing, that Title 42 expulsion opportunity allowed us to reduce capacity because we didn't want a lot of people in custody when you had, COVID-19 and right. The rapid spread of that. So we had to figure out a way. So this is going to change some things. But, I think the Border Patrol has been preparing for this. I know when I was chief, we had multiple planning sessions. The commissioner there in El Paso, weekly calls, but every local Border Patrol sector and their local support teams from the elected officials to law enforcement have been planning for this. That's why I don't think there'll be the true chaos. There'll be an uptick. There will be problems. But Border Patrol agents have been planning for this. Communities have been preparing for this. The chaos is in Washington and those that have turned a blind eye to the local communities that weren't prepared.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.